happy, happy, and more happy, right? Who doesn't want to be happy? But are trying to figure out the formula for happiness. So some of the ways, right, you can truly be happy, meaningfully be happy, right? I'm not just talking about hedonistic happiness, but flourishing happiness, right, as eudaimonia, as Socrates called it. Eudaimonia is something which is going to really truly bring happiness, because you can't joke the body, right? A happy body and a happy mind will only come when you will rise above your hedonistic wants. Most comprehensive study in the field of happiness was conducted at Harvard University in the 1930s, and it's still going on since now it's been 80 years. It started off with a small sample of around 700 students, and now it has increased around 3,000 people, which is across lifespan. Their lives have been tracked, and every 2 years, experts are tracking their health indicators through blood tests, to cortisol level, to the heart health, interviews, surveys, and cognitive tests. Here are the key findings from this study. Number one is relationships extend life. And what I'm talking about is healthy relationships, caring, comforting, compassionate presence of others. That means the real go-to people in your life. Social connections, right, make us happier. We are hardwired for connection. Those who are going to disregard, bite, or undermine, or neglect, or ignore these human needs are not doing a favor to themselves, right? Self-sufficiency is a very toxic norm, which is killing people. So an informed approach requires that you take into account the need for having relationships and other people, caring individuals around them, right? So start investing if you do not have such people around you, because your happiness and your life, depends on it. Emotional and social loneliness is as detrimental as having 15 cigarettes per day. Number two is wealth does not make you happy. Experts have been saying that of course you need money to survive, but after a certain level, right, of income, which when you have met your basic survival needs and comfort needs, after that it is just a hedonistic ride. It's just running on that treadmill which doesn't lead you anywhere. You keep on running and running, and people have been reporting that after a certain level of income there is no improvement in their happiness levels, right? They are as happy as the ones, right, who just have those basic needs of. In fact, the richer people, right, the millionaires, are reporting more higher level of developing diabetes and cardiovascular health, and their medical bills are increasing. Why? Running after money is not going to make you happy. In fact, people have been regretting that they wished when they were on the deathbed that I wish I would have not wasted so much of my precious time running after greed, right? Running after this culture of envy and competition. I've got to have this in order to be worthwhile, in order to be loved, in order to be accepted. Health fuels happiness. Everybody knows that a healthy mind and a healthy body is a happy body. So how do you make your body happy? Experts are saying walk, move. Only walking 15 minutes, a brisk walk a day, research has been saying that it reduces your risk of mortality by 14%, and it increases your life as much as 3 years. There's a reduction of about 35% in your risk of developing cognitive decline. Walking brings your body into the safety mode. When I do my psychosomatic sessions with people, I make sure that they are doing their walk for at least 30 minutes a day. What happens when you walk is that there is a certain kind of movement which takes place in your eyes, which is called bilateral stimulation, and what that does is that it activates your vagus nerve, and which brings your body into the safety mode and the rest and digest mode. And that is the mode the body really craves for. A happy body wants that, to come back home, to come back to safety. This is just a simple way, as to how you can make your body right safe and reduce your stress levels and your anxiety levels. But it has to be a committed practice. It is an everyday thing. And if you want to take this to the next level, add the cherry on the top. That is mindful walking. Wandering mind is an unhappy mind. Number 4 is unhealthy relationships, unhealthy experiences, unhealthy environments. If you're going to keep on staying in toxic environments and re-traumatizing your body every day, trauma is just not one incident. It is every day when your body is in surveillance mode. That is what you're doing. You are traumatizing your body. You're keeping it in the fight and flight mode. And what that does is that the body drains. The body has those who are in happy marriages or with happy partners, they live longer. And toxic relationships have been shown through research to accelerate aging. Those who reported feelings of loneliness and lack of emotional intimacy have greater risk of developing heart disease. In fact, 20% higher rate. Researchers, experts are saying that those who do not have healthy relationships or are continuing to live in toxic environments, be it at home or at work, they have around 40% higher risk of developing heart disease and around the same percentage of developing stroke. Over here, right, the key thing is quality relationships and loving and caring relationships. And again, if you don't have them, consider that to be a red flag to your happiness. Number 5, giving back, right? Giving back really adds to your happiness. Those who are in depression or going through a lot of mental health challenges, experts suggest that they are sent immediately to do community service. Community service or giving back is the antidote for bringing so much of safety into your nervous system. It reduces your inflammation levels, it improves your immunity levels, it reduces your cortisol levels, and in fact also changes your biology in terms of increasing oxytocin levels, which protects so many of your organs, and not to mention the other feel-good happy chemicals which your body really needs to be happy. Health psychologist Kelly McGonigal of Stanford University has shown through her research that every time there is a crisis in your life, it increases your risk of dying by 30%. But she found that those who have been consistently giving back to the community, in spite of their stress levels, these individuals had no stress-related increase in death and dying. So powerful is this source of happiness because it gives back not only to your mind but also to your body. Research has been showing that socializing has reduced from 60 minutes per day in 2003 to around 20 minutes per day in 2020. And young people have been reporting increasing levels of emotional isolation and lack of trustworthy and meaningful connections because of the increase in superficialism. The anxiety and depression levels are increasing. Envy culture and artificial relationships are making people more and more unhappy within. Technology has connected us, but disconnected us emotionally. Compassionate care protects the brain. Another key finding of the Harvard study was that in their 80s, people who really had compassionate care of others were the ones who had 20% less decline in their cognitive ability and had a less risk of developing dementia. If you really want to stay sharp and not age, invest in compassionate care. Have a go-to person who you can lean on again and again. Harness that social support. In the end, I would like to tell you that happiness is not found in wealth after a certain level, or in achievements, or the medals, or the accolades, or the promotions, or the work success. In the end, people just want compassionate care to be happy at the end of life. So if you are not really happy, maybe you are looking in the wrong places. If this post was helpful, please do like and share with someone who would benefit from this. And for more content on mental health and happiness, keep following me. Bye-bye for now.